So one of the most common questions I see crop up in our Facebook group and even people emailing us is about calculating your macros. It's one of the things people find the most confusing. So I thought I'd run you through a video on how to do it. Now, I'm not saying you have to track your macros. It's completely up to you whether you want to track your macros at all. We don't track our macros most of the time. But some people want to keep a track of the carbs that they're taking in and want to be able to track their macros. So if you want to be able to track your macros, I'm going to show you step by step how to do it. So your first thing that you need to be able to do or work out is what your macros need to be. Now the best way to do that is with a macro calculator. Now, there's a bunch of macro calculators out there. I used to refer everyone to a particular one, but I'm not a fan of that website anymore. So we're going to use the Fat for Weight Loss calculator. That's by Aaron, and I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see the step-by-step that you need to do. Okay, so now we are on Aaron's website. So I'm on his macro calculator, and you just scroll down. First off, choose pounds or kilos. So I'm going to choose kilos because that's what we run with. You just need to pop in your current weight. You need to pop in your height. And so you can choose centimeters or inches for that. Your gender, your age. Now the next thing you need to put in is your body fat percentage. Now that's just probably going to be an estimate unless you've done a DEXA scan. Mine is around 25%, so I'm going to pop that in. You can also do a search and find out what body fat percentages look like, so you can kind of work it out from there, but just have a guess around that. The next thing is your physical activity. So I do a little bit of walking, but I haven't been doing CrossFit for a while, so I'm going to choose the fairly active, which is walking, exercising 1 to 2 times a week, which probably suits with me. Then the next thing you need to choose is your goal. So you can choose accelerated weight loss, which is at a 20% deficit, lose fat at a 15% deficit, maintain weight, or build muscle. Now I'm going to choose maintain weight because I'm just happy to stay where I am. But most people are probably going to try and run at some form of deficit, so you can choose 15 or 20%. Now, the other thing you can choose is whether you want to track net carbs or total carbs. Now, in Australia, I'm going to recommend that you choose net carbs because it's much easier to track net carbs with our nutrition labels. If you want to know more about the nutrition labels, I'll pop a link below on how you read nutrition labels because that is another thing that people get confused with. So I'm going to choose 20 net carbs. That's what's recommended, so I recommend that you choose that. Now you don't have to give Aaron your email, it's optional. Just click calculate and we're going to get our macros calculated for us. Okay, so as you can see, it's calculated. Total calories 1755, total carbs 30, net carbs 20. So we chose net carbs, so that's fine. Protein 124 and fats 127. So then now we've got our macro goals that we want to be able to achieve. The next thing you need to be able to do is track your macros. So what you need for that is a tracking app. So you can use a bunch of different ones. There's MyFitnessPal, which I'm not a fan of. A lot of people use Carb Manager. I don't have any experience in that, so I'm not going to talk too much about that. The one I like is Cronometer. So with Cronometer, what you are going to need to do now is download the Cronometer app or use the Cronometer website. You will need a login, so you'll need to sign up if you haven't signed up before. That's a reasonably quick process. So what I'm going to do now is show you on my phone what the how we put in these macros into the tracking app of Cronometer. Okay, so Cronometer is opened, and because I'm logged in, it's just opened up on today, and I'm not tracking, so it's not showing anything that I've entered in. Now what you need to do is to enter in the macros we've just found out from Fat for Weight Loss is you need to click on settings and then scroll down until you see macronutrient targets. Click on that. And then you need to enter in your macros. So mine was 1755 for the calories. My protein was 124. My net carbs was 20, which it already is, so I don't need to put that in. And my fat was 127. So if we just go back, now it's saved those macro targets. So now when we go into the diary, we will see that those are there as our targets, and it's saying 0% because we haven't put any food in yet. So the next thing then, the next step is actually tracking your food. So each thing that you eat needs to go into the tracking app. So for breakfast today, I had 2 fried eggs. So let's put the fried eggs in. What you do is you click on the big plus in the middle there and you click add food. So if you just search eggs, eggs will come up. I just put raw egg and you choose the quantity, which I'm going to choose 2 extra large. They were pretty big eggs. I'll show you, you can use the drop down and it will give you different sizes, different measurements. You can use a cup. I don't know why you would use that, but for fried eggs, just choose the size, extra large, large, medium, done, and then add it. And now you will see that the energy has changed, the protein has changed, the carbs, everything's now got a percentage there and also got the grams calculated for us. So as you go throughout the day, you'll be able to see where you're at with your macros. So adding the food is quite easy. Now there's a couple of things that are a little bit more complicated. You can add recipes and you can add your own custom food. So if you have a particular food that you cannot find within the app, you can actually add it yourself. So on the app, if you're going to do it on your phone, you scroll all the way over to custom and you click on custom and it's got all my custom ones already there. If I click on foods, now I can see my recipes and my food. So if I want to create a recipe, I click on create recipe and then I can add the recipe in. So if I was using one of our recipes off our blog, I would add in each ingredient, save it with the name have butter will travel chili recipe, which I already have in there. And then it's there whenever I want it and it calculates the macros every time. So the beauty of the recipe is that it's saved there for every time you want to use it. You only need to do this once. You can also do it, create a food. So what I will do is I'll grab something that isn't in Cronometer and we'll add it in. Okay, so I've been eating a lot of fermented products at the moment. If you want to know why, I'll link the video above. But what I'm going to enter in is this sauerkraut, because I know that it's not in there. So when I look at it, now this is where we get ourselves into a little bit of difficulty with the Australian labels. So the Australian labels have kilojoules and you need to know the kilocalories. So you will want to convert the calories. That's easy enough to do. Just Google kilojoules to calories, which I will show you how we do that. So 1 kilojoule to 1 kilocalorie. So one serving on this is 30 grams and it's 40 kilojoules, which is 9 kilocalories. First of all, we save the name. spirals, beetroot, sauerkraut, and it's 30 grams. Next, okay, so here is where we put in the information that we have. Now you may not have all of this information. The important stuff are the macros, so the kilocalories, the fat, the carbs and the protein. So we worked out the kilocalories was 9, the fat per serve is 0.1, the carbs is 1.7. You want to enter in the fiber if you have it, but we don't have it here. And the protein is 0.3. So now I can save it. Which now if I click on my foods, we should be able to find it. You can see all of the different ones I've saved here over time. And there's the spiral beetroot sauerkraut. So there it is, ready to go. Now, if I want to add that into my diary for the day, you just click on the plus, add food. And now what you need to do is scroll over until you see custom. Once the custom's loaded, you'll see the spiralized, it might be down the bottom. There it is, click on that, click on that. 1 30-gram serving, add. And now if I go back to my diary, we get an ad. That's nice. So now you can see that's exactly what I had for breakfast. I had 2 eggs and I had the sauerkraut, and you can see that it's tracked it. So it's not too difficult, but you have to understand the steps. First of all, find out what your macros are through the macro calculator. Enter them into Cronometer or Carb Manager or whatever tracker you're using, and then start tracking your food. If you get stuck, the product's not there, you can enter it in on Cronometer for yourself. It doesn't get shared with everyone else, which is really good. It's just there for you in your custom settings. So hopefully this has helped you get your head around working out your macros and tracking your macros. If you have any questions around this, I'm really happy to help out if you're still stuck. So pop your questions in the comments below. If you've liked this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. Share your experiences with tracking in the comments below. And make sure you subscribe to our channel so that you get more videos like this, because we're doing more and more like this as we go along. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.